Hello, good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning. We still have,
Everyone.
yeah, yeah, we still have some minutes to set all this down, and yes, and we will have the YouTube live stream. So yeah, I will have to mute all you guys firstly, and then if it's your turn, I will invite you to make the presentation. Thank you. Don't forget to change your name so we can find you easily. Yes. Wait a second. Okay. I think it's time. It's 11 a.m. now. I think we can start our ZK Hackathon demo day today. Hi everyone. Good morning and good evening. Welcome to our demo day. I'm Cole, CEO of ScalingX, and I will be the host today. Firstly, we want to introduce a little bit more about ScalingX and our ZK Hackathons. Let's start it with our co-founder Chichi's video. 林辉 sorry. Yes. Sorry, Ninghui, you should share this voice. Let me share it, please.
Hi everyone, I'm so happy to have you today. I'm Chi, the co-founder from ScalingX. Before we started, let me introduce ourselves. ScalingX, we are a very new accelerator slash VC. We cover from Singapore, Hong Kong, Australia to the Bay Area in the US. We empower our founders with hiring, talent recruitment, to fundraising, community building, and public relations. Anything you can think of. So we try our best to support them in any kind of way that they need. So I'm so happy that we have our founders, our partners, judges, and then the VCs we're very close with to be here and to join our demo day. So let's get it started.
Yeah, thanks, Chichi's brief introduction. Yes, I think today we will have 15 potential projects from all of the world. And the Scan is also invited our global VC partners, developer communities, crypto medias, and other industry influencers. So hope you guys can create valuable connections after the demo day. So time for the projects. Welcome to the first project, ZK Credit. Hi, ZK Credit team, are you here? I will invite you to make the presentation. Hi, ZK Credit. Okay, I think we cannot find them. Yeah, sure. Okay, I'll mute you. Spell your name. Yes.
Yeah, thank you. Sorry about that. Awesome.
Yeah.
Can you turn on my video because I cannot turn on. Sorry.
Yeah, sure, please. Our colleague or assistant. Yeah. I think you can try to open the camera now.
Yes, I cannot, still cannot.
I'll give you the.
Yeah, still the same. You cannot start the video because the host has stopped it. Unable to start a video. But if you wish, I can. Oh, nice.
Nice to meet you. Yeah, nice to
Nice
meet
to
you.
meet
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
So let me see if I can share my screen. Just a few seconds.
Okay.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Okay.
Awesome. Yeah, you can start your presentation now, and you have the 7 minutes. Yes.
Perfect.
Please go.
Hi, everyone.
Please. Yeah, please go ahead. Yeah.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. This is Glycon Peixe from ZK Cred project. So ZK Cred project is a cred score platform using ZKML technology for decentralizing loan. This is the team, myself, Lorenzo, Kevin. Quickly introduction, the ZK Credit Score is a system that is designed to certify a person's ability to obtain a loan without exposing their private data. And this summarizes very well the idea of this project. We believe that you don't need to share all your private data with banks or institutions without having the confirmation that they will give you the loan. This system uses the power of ZK technology to create a circle that is capable of validating the basic condition required to get a loan. So we create this machine learning model from scratch to validate this basic condition, and we use a data set from Kaggle to train this machine learning. Talking about the pipeline in this version, we added several fields for the loan applicant to fill out that I will be showing in a few minutes. For example, crypto balance, Web3 transaction history, monthly income and expenses. And all of this data is used in two machine learning model, which process the data to determine if the loan applicant has enough credit score to request the loan. Our machine learning model uses complex algorithm to analyze the data and provide an accurate credit score. This score validation process is executed on the client side. So this score validation process happens on the user's browser to avoid any kind of exposing or leaking private data. This approach uses the power of ZK and machine learning, which is called ZKML, to keep all the data anonymous, ensuring maximum privacy and security for our clients. I want just to highlight some technical keys we use to this project. Socrates to produce the first and the second ZK proof, Keras to Circle to transpile the TensorFlow code and generating the final ZK proof. This is the ZKML part. And we are saving all the ZK proofs and the score in a smart contract on Polygon network. We are using the Open Zeppelin Defender for smooth integration with the Web3. Okay, demo time. Just let me share my other screen now. Awesome. Can you, I think, yeah, awesome. So the platform is very straightforward. You have a button here on top to connect with the MetaMask wallet. Nice. Just to be clear, I'm using the Polygon Mobile network. I must have at least 0.001 MEDIC and at least two transactions, one receiving MEDIC and another one transferring funds to another wallet. come back here, we have two options. View my score, which is basically consulting or your previous score, the date, all the ZK proofs and the score, and another option to request a loan. As you can see, there are some fields here in the asset. There is this mortgage debt, patrimony, age, zip code, number of family members. So please fill out or just copy from mine for this example. Income tab, same thing, some income related fields. Credit history, same thing. And at the end, we have the loan terms. What is the place to put how much you're asking for this loan, and briefly explaining about why do you need this loan. So in this button, you will start the process where ZK and ZKML will take place. It might take some time, like 4 up to 6 minutes, because this process of running the ZK is kind of heavy, and all the process will be executed on the client side. Eventually, you will receive a dialog saying that this loan was rejected or it was accepted. So go back to the main page and check your new score. It should appear here below as a new line. Yeah, I think summary very well the project. Just to finish the slide. Thank you, everyone. This summary very well the idea of this project, and thank you for the opportunity to show the project.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, ZK Creative team. Yes, I think this is a nice presentation. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Yes, we will move on to next potential projects. The name is established team. I think you're here.
I'm here. Hi. Good morning to Good morning. Good evening to everyone.
Yeah, nice to meet you. Yes.
Should I start the video, or you want me to just do the sharing of the screen immediately?
You should open the video and share your screen and start your presentation. Yeah.
I am unable. Okay, I got my video up now. So hi everyone. My name is Teck Guan, and I will be doing my presentation where I'm sharing my PowerPoint slides on Establish. So
yes,
the zero knowledge proof that we are working on here is a quantum safe network. Just trying to get that slide. Okay, so it's a quantum safe zero knowledge proof approach that we're coming from, slightly different from a lot of the ZK snarks and all the others that you're familiar with. So I might have to spend a bit of time explaining that, but never mind. Let's get into the problem first. A bit about Establish. Establish is a product from PQC. PQC is the startup that I'm running, and our focus is really about building quantum readiness solutions for the future. Why is there a need to perform asset or ownership verification? I think this started back last year or even a year before, where we see certain bad actors within the Web3 space that started to use or started to take the assets that they had and used it for purposes that shouldn't be there, and therefore drove the need for organizations or individuals to demand that such service providers ask for proof that you own such assets or such tokens that's on the Web3 itself. So, and if tokenization, if the tokenization movement starts to grow even a lot more, where both tangible and intangible assets start to become tokenized, then there is a need for people to have to prove that they own these assets. It's slightly different from operating with a bank. In the traditional Web 1, Web 2 world, you leave your money with the bank, you leave some of your tokens with the bank, you leave your assets with the bank, and they custodize that for you. And in return, the bank offers you services because they know you have assets. When we move into the Web3 world, This is very different. It's all decentralized. You own your own assets and you hold your own assets in custody. But how do you then prove to people that you own these assets without revealing your address? That becomes a privacy issue that comes into play. The current requirements to prove that you own a certain address or own a certain asset is to publish your address and actually perform a digital signature. So what auditors and what many of the other regulators do is that they go to someone who owns certain, who purports to own a certain amount of assets, and they ask them to perform a digital signature. You either do a dummy transaction online, on the chain itself to say that you own a certain asset, or you sign a certain challenge that the regulator auditor gives you to say that this is the key that you own. This is a problem because the transactions are very manual. The question is, can we do it for all addresses? And if every time I need to prove something, I get challenged and I have to create dummy addresses online, this starts to become a very weird operation that needs to happen. And if we want the world to move towards asset tokenization for anything and everything in the world, this form of challenging this ownership cannot continue. Because on top of that manual process, it also exposes the public key, which makes the address no longer quantum safe. And there's an entire lack of privacy because once we know which address holds which token, we start to be able to see all the incoming and outgoing transactions that happen. And this is totally going to make this whole asset tokenization Web3 movement a failure. So where do we come from? We want to say the web business wants to have maximum security, maximum privacy at minimum cost. The end user says, I want to know that certain businesses, or I want to know that certain wallets have certain addresses, but I don't want to reveal a lot of it. So how can we have a quantum safe, yet private, yet comprehensive solution to do proof generation in this whole Web3 world that we come from? And this is where Establish comes in. So what we have built, or what we are in the process of building, is a self-generated. So this is a non-interactive zero-knowledge proof for proof of asset ownership using MPC in the head. So we are using a zero-knowledge proof based on MPC in the head, which is a little different from the ZK SNARK technology that you are using. But by using that, we can allow for non-interactive, non-trusted setup, public verification of proofs without revealing even the public addresses or public keys or the addresses. The little website here shows a bit of this, but maybe I just jump a bit into the underlying technology. So that's MPC. MPC stands for multi-party computation ahead. And the diagram you see on the right is essentially the very first construction of how it's done. To explain it easily, you are familiar with MPC, but MPC is typically done across multiple parties. MPC in the head is done by a single party, which generated several transactions, and then revealing only a portion of those transactions. And this gives us the ability to maintain both the zero knowledge and yet be able to give us the statistical bound to prove that you really know the information. So with MPC in the head, we're able to prove knowledge of pre-images of hashes. We're able to prove knowledge of a public key versus a private key, and several other operations that we are currently being built. So the benefits of Establish, I think, is very clear. Proof generation can already be done, and this can be done off-chain by the person who owns the address in a quantum safe, air-gap manner. So you have both security and privacy. The public key is never exposed during the verification, and the verification can be done on-chain and even can support cross-chain verification. I can do a little demo here, but I just did some screenshots for you all to see. So what we did on the Dfinity ICP chain itself is that we can already support a proof of knowledge of the public key. It essentially is a RIPE MD160 plus SHA-256 of a public key to generate an address. And if you follow through the process, you can enter the public key and it generates the proof that can be then put onto any public verification website that can do the verification for you. And all this is done without a need for a trusted setup. There is no issuer of the credentials. It is all done by simply the prover and the verifier itself. So we can do these kinds of things, and all of this information can be supported through the MPC and the Head Zero knowledge proof. Currently, what we are building is an extended version of this to support a proof of generation plus verification of address.
Thank you, established team. I think time is up. Thank you for your presentation.
Yep.
Yeah. If others want to know more about you, I will give you a contact to them, and you can just make another connection. Thank you. Thank you for presentation.
Okay.
Yes.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Let's welcome the next potential team, V-Self. Hi, V-Self team. Are you here? V-Self. Yeah. I think you're here. I just.
Hi.
Hi. Nice to meet you. Hi.
Nice to meet you too.
Yes, you can start your presentation now.
Just a sec.
Yes.
So, glad to be here. I'm Ilya from V-Self team, and I would like to introduce you to our project, which is V-Studio. And yeah, let's start with the demo, with the presentation. So, what we have been building for this hackathon is community membership tooling powered by ZKs. So we could do a membership flow without revealing one's particular identity, and our users should be able to prove that they belong to some community without leaving traces recognizable on chain, or without in a zero knowledge manner, without revealing their particular identity to the observers. So how we did it? Just a sec. A little bit of background. V-Self is already existing project, and we're focusing on identity management and building customer relationships with the brands. So brands could do like analytics and interact with their audience in a privacy preserving and like ethical manner. That was the vision for V-Self in general. And for this project, here you can see like our tag of cloud of tags. Yeah, for this particular project, we designed a system which implements ZK proofs on the client side. So for this, we implemented NPM package compiled to WebAssembly, and we run the computation on the side of our application in the web browser. And our solution to the privacy is to store everything sensitive on the client, put some commitments on chain to do the ZK verification of data integrity or any other like predicates on the data. And on the user side, we constantly verify ZK proofs provided, so user can actually see what is going on without revealing like which communities she wants to join, etc. So we did a little I don't know if I have time for demo. Let me first dive into the implementation details a little bit. So how we did it, we used already existing implementation of bullet proofs written in Rust to do the following. On the client side, user logs in with his like blockchain account. For example, we're using Near blockchain as a layer 1, as we already have been building on this network, for this network. And after logging in, user uses his private key to produce commitment, which then is put on chain into some kind of accumulator. Currently, it's like plain text. And when this commitment is added to the community accumulator, then everyone, then a user can automatically produce zero knowledge proof, which then can be verified by the third party. And the verification will yield the result if a user is indeed a part of a specific community. So that's the scheme of things. And what do we see as a use cases? Currently we see several ones. First of all the use cases that are regulatory based, like when you have sensitive information. For example, you've passed KYC for some DeFi service and you want to keep private if your specific identity when you interact with the service, but you just want to prove that you have passed KYC, for example, or you have been approved by the brand, or have been eligible for some kind of restricted content, for example. So you could have authorized with the zero knowledge proof and then get access to some a web page or anything. And the third, lowest hanging fruit that we can see is a kind of governance and voting based off the private community membership model. So briefly, our tech stack, you can see on this slide, it's a near based product, and and full stack application we've deployed during the hackathon, which is available online, written in the TypeScript, yes, and using our custom npm package for the client side computation of zero knowledge.
Thank you, Vasil.
Thank you, guys.
And yes, I send lots of informations. I will share your deck to the public and people and know your team more. Yeah, thank you. Let's welcome next team, ZK-SIG. Thank you. Let's welcome ZK-SIG. I will. Yeah, please.
Is that working now?
Yes, it's working. Yeah, you can start it.
Okay. So I am Kara. I'm one of the co-founders of ZK-SIG, where we have built privacy-first digital document solutions that connect on-chain activity with off-chain agreements. We have built those to be composable, enforceable in the real world, and compatible with both Web 2 and Web 3. So the problem as we see it today is that digital documents really have not evolved very far from paper agreements. So if you want to, prove something within a digital agreement or document, you have to compromise privacy by sharing the entire agreement. On the flip side of that, if we want to keep our personal information in those agreements private, then we sacrifice building workflows or other applications on top of all the information that is wrapped up in those PDF legal agreements. In Web3, this problem is felt even more acutely, where legally binding agreements are often out of sync with on-chain activity. So, for example, binding terms and conditions don't necessarily follow like an NFT transfer, or Web3 workflows often rely on humans to monitor off-chain tasks and then connect them with legal contract activity in the physical world. So the solution is composable, private, legally binding digital agreements that are non-custodial and decentralized. So what that does is allows users to choose which document details to share with whomever they want and which to keep private. And by giving those privacy choices, makes it so that builders are able to connect document data with on-chain activity without compromising the personal information that people, do want to keep within those documents. Some use cases today, we have active partnerships actually where we are working on manualizing workflows where a contract is signed on our platform and a token transfer occurs in like a Gnosis safe. So, you could imagine also triggering any other type of smart contract once all signatures to a legal agreement are collected, gating access to Web3 services with on-chain proofs of real-world service agreements. And then in the very long term, tomorrow, many years from now, the way that we use these zero-knowledge proofs and the way we store our data makes it so that you can build on top of the data, in those agreements, from the engineering side of things, but that also, what we are doing in terms of deconstructing and reconstructing these agreements is a much more safe approach to redaction and really any system where you have to have permission-based sharing of certain types of information in documents. In the interest of time, I think I'm going to go ahead and show a demo of our platform. So we've designed our platform using Privy Auth to make it so that you don't have to go through the process of connecting a wallet. You can log in, create an agreement or a template, just like you would in familiar Web2 platforms like DocuSign. You can upload your PDF document, add fields, first add people. So that'd be participants in the document that are later able to view or share it. And then you can add fields, text fields, signature fields, numbers, and some others. I think this demo just does some text fields and maybe a signature field. And then you can assign those fields to a person to execute later. And so what happens when you generate this document with these fields is that we create in the browser through our application, a zero-knowledge proof that represents the structure of that initial document. And then we also take the field data and other data that's not part of the PDF and create zero-knowledge proof of that information as well. Those all get hashed up. And then ultimately, when the agreement is signed or an interaction occurs, those hashes are stored on the blockchain. And then a signer will receive a URL by which they can apply their signature to a document. A hash of that signature data is stored on chain so that there is like an immutable record that an agreement was signed, document was interacted with, etc. But your personal information, like your wallet address and all of that, is not on the public blockchain. And then finally, this is the process to share the actual zero-knowledge proof of the document, everybody that interacted with it. You can also download a PDF copy. But yeah, so then you can generate a zero-knowledge proof of this completed agreement. And essentially send that proof off to somebody using this link if they want, to do it that way. Or we've also set it up so that a proof can be sent out to a smart contract. Yeah, and then trigger those workflows that we were just talking about. In the interest of time, I think we don't have a ton of time left, but I just wanted to mention some of the things that we have worked on and are working on continually on improving this platform. We started at a hackathon originally in November, went through OV, participated in a Tableland pilot program, and actually now have a partnership with Tableland where we are connecting some of their contract signing with Web3 transaction generation, and then are also actually just now building out a click wrap solution that will work in much the same way, zero knowledge proof of that sort of thing. My co-founder, Ryan, unfortunately had a family emergency, so can't be here today, but he's got a ton of software experience. I'm a former attorney, and so really interested just in the contract kind of side of these things. And let me see. I think
thank you. Thank you.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it. Thank you. Thank you for presentation. Yeah, just several minutes. Okay. Okay, let's welcome next project, Portgate.
Hi, how's it going, everyone? Glad to be here. My name is Chirag, and I lead the BD team at Portalgate. So what is Portalgate? Well, let me start by asking, how many of you here today use DeFi? Right, I assume most of us here do. And if you use DeFi long enough, you begin to realize that there isn't a product in the market that can break the on-chain link between your wallets in a compliant manner. You might ask, why would somebody need this right now? Well, let's say you're an investor allocating to a new project and don't want your investment to have a trail to your other wallets within your portfolio. Or you could be a business paying your employees in crypto, but realize these salaries can't be private if it's all from the same wallet address. You could be a DeFi fund where people start tracking your wallet to look at when you move in and out of new farms. These are all things that made us think, well, let's create a protocol that can obfuscate the on-chain link between your wallets and at the same time be compliant. So essentially what Portalgate is, we're a privacy-centric DeFi stack developing a compliant privacy solution that will form the base for our longer-term roadmap of bringing dark pool trading to the industry. How do we do this? Well, we built a zero-knowledge compliance oracle that can verify your KYC off-chain through a third party, and then attest that your wallet is compliant. It uses a simple 1 or 0. Your off-chain data will have no link to your on-chain wallet. And then essentially, once your wallet is compliant, you can move through our privacy solution and break that on-chain link between your deposit and withdrawal wallet. In terms of the business model, we essentially make our revenue through transfers within our privacy solution, and that'll be in the range of 10 to 30 basis points. So yeah, that's the breakdown of how it works. In terms of where we are at this stage, we've launched our testnet. We're aiming to launch an ETH mainnet in Q3. We've raised around 1 million at a $15 million valuation. Most of our investors will be users of the protocol as well. Our focus is on serving the on-chain liquid funds market. We've got about 7 to 8 funds that are already on board as users and expect more down the line once we implement our dark pool. Before I close up, I'd like to show you a quick demo of our current testnet, which you're all welcome to try out after this as well. Let me share my screen. Perfect. I hope you guys can see that. So this is what our protocol looks like. This is the user dashboard. Essentially, what you'll see here in the corner, there's a yellow widget, which is essentially our compliance widget. You can give that a click and you can start onboarding. You can select a third party to verify through. You'll be directed off-chain, where you can select which document you'd like to KYC with, upload it, and wait for it to be accepted. Once that's been accepted, you can request your credentials on the platform. What this says is that it tags your wallet as compliant, and once your wallet is tagged as compliant, you're allowed to use the protocol. So essentially, to use our protocol, you can't use it from the back end or directly through the blockchain. You'll have to come through the UI, essentially keeping everything compliant on the platform. So right now, as we receive our credentials, you'll see this yellow widget turn to green, which means you're verified and you've got valid credentials. From here, we'll go to our wrapper. You'll select one of your native tokens and we'll wrap it into a KYC version of the asset. The reason for this, as I mentioned earlier, it's to prevent anyone from interacting directly with the backend and only keeping everything on our platform compliant. So this is a pretty straightforward. We wrap our USDT into something called KYC USDT. It's one-to-one redeemable. If you choose not to go through with the process, you can always unwrap it. And there's no risk of depeg. It's just stored in a smart contract, and essentially it prevents any collateral buildup as well. So yeah, as we wrap our tokens, as you can see, we've now got 10,000 KYC USDT, and we're ready to enter the portal. On the portal, we can select our KYC asset to deposit, can select the amount, approve the contract, and then move through the privacy solution. This part's pretty important because soon we're going to be prompted with a private note, which is essentially proof of our deposit. And you're going to need this private note when you withdraw on your new wallet. So essentially, this private note needs to be stored somewhere. You need to save it, and it's your responsibility. So there we go. There's the private note. We'll even prompt you to make sure that you've backed up the code yourself. Enter it there, and then you can send your deposit. You can approve that on MetaMask. And then that will go through. In the essence of time, I'll skip along. Yep, so our deposit's gone through. As you can see, there it is there a few seconds ago, and we can carry on with our withdrawal. So we can select withdraw, we can select the asset again, we can upload the private note, and we can select our new wallet address that we'd like to receive it to. So yeah, I'll change my wallet address to a new wallet and proceed to paste that address there. Now, the key part over here is it's pretty important to know that your withdrawal address as well needs to be compliant. So your withdrawal address as well will go through that same compliance process we did at the start. And then once it's tagged as compliant, you're allowed to withdraw to this address as well. So as I reiterated before, everything on this platform will remain compliant. And then we'll move through with the withdrawal. The proof will be generated. We'll move through. Takes a while because this is a bit heavy. Yep, so then once it's gone through, we can simply head back to the wrapper and unwrap our assets. And there we have USDT on our new withdrawal wallet without any on-chain link to our original wallet. And you've done that all compliantly. Thank you. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Thanks, ScalingX, for having me. And yeah, anyone looking to get involved a bit more and learn a bit more, just let me know. I'm available on most socials. Thanks.
Thanks, Portalgate team. Yeah, thank you for the presentation. Okay, let's move on and let's welcome ERM now.
Hello, hey guys. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, clearly. Yes,
Yeah,
you can start presentation. Yeah.
All right. So our project is a little bit different. I do see a lot of infrastructure, a lot of DeFi project here, but with our project, we are a little bit more fun, a little bit more marketing. So what we do is we are digitalizing an entertainment industry overall, so specifically looking into brick and mortar businesses. So our first project is focusing on entertainment industry. That's actually quite popular, is an escape room. So we're bundling those particular assets, for example, architecture design, game content, puzzle design, and also branding as an IP and put it on chain. I'll explain a little bit more, but can you guys see my screen? Just confirming.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Awesome. So I'm just going to play a very quick demo video. I don't think that's sound, but it's all right. So it was a very quick 20-second video. And ultimately what we do is we digitalizing an IP for the Web2 businesses, specifically in the entertainment industry. So right now we have currently partnered with top 10 global escape room partners, and that's generating about 6.6 million traffic. We just launched a project 2 weeks ago with the Sandbox. So Sandbox has announced a strategic partnership with us, and we will be doing a lot of launches with exciting partners in the future. So on the left-hand side, as you guys can see on the slide here, we have the partners, the 10 partners. The next step is digitalizing an IP and actually getting the rights. So we are one of the largest escape room IPs on the metaverse. In the next 24 months, we are expecting to accumulate 9 million players throughout the 24 months, 15,000 corporate clients, generating 46 million revenue coming from equity, Web2 and Web3, predominantly in the Web2 market. We are also expecting, because with our decentralized method, okay, so just to be clear, we're not strictly only building on the Sandbox, we're building on multiverse, and we are partnering with a lot of different studios to be able to build a game on multiple metaverse. So we're expecting 1 week, 1 game, launching 100 games in total. Currently, that we have in a pipeline is partnership with the Sandbox, Meta3. We are also building on Decentraland, Roblox, and we are partnering with 5 other metaverse that is already in our pipeline. So probably don't really need to go through too much of the problem and solution, but predominantly is what we wanted to do is to transform a very, very fixed asset, very heavy investment industry into a digitalized, into a metaverse, and into obviously a e-sport where they can actually capture a lot more revenue, not only just the brick and mortar businesses. So that's the essential idea. What are our business model? However, that's actually more interesting. A lot of people don't pay attention to this particular industry, but it is a $2.8 billion size annually, and it's generating 100 million players per year. And that's sort of two sides of the world problem. So number one is the brick and mortar business, they need a bottleneck, they need to transform their businesses. And on the other hand, the metaverse, they need real use cases. People are not only here in the metaverse to, do a fashion show, do an NFT gallery. There isn't many great traffic other than Sandbox, perhaps Decentraland, really, generating a really good IP and utility and use cases onto the metaverse. But with our project, we're actually building the whole journey, really forcing, I wouldn't say forcing, but really encouraging our Web2 users to come on board to Web3 metaverse without them feel like, oh, there's a need to converting myself to crypto, converting myself to Web3. No, so the whole process is going to be very streamless. Those are business models. So on the left-hand side, we consider ourselves as a Web 2.5 business. So what that means is we are taking an approach of a very traditional method, also a very decentralized method. So on the left-hand side, you can see here's O2O integration. It's a very, very big component of our business, which is converting offline players to online, and also converting the online players to also offline to enjoy your physical, real immersive experience offline. We talk about the IP licensing. We will also, in the pipeline, not now, but we will have our IP experimental pop-up store on the right-hand side, which is a decentralized side. We have UGC economic. The fact that Sandbox is funding us is because we tap on very heavy of the UGC element. We have decentralized IP and ownership. So all the escape room game, the extended content game that you built will be on chain. And you will actually get to own your IP and actually getting the revenue that is supposed to be in your pocket. And we partner with, for example, like Ancient Egg. We partner with GameFi, which is one of the largest launch pad in the gaming in the decentralized gaming industry. They will be launching out several of different of our gameplay, and of course we have decentralized infrastructure. So let's look at an example. So the case study that we have here, which is the first game that we'll be launching, is an escape room based in LA. So it's actually a relatively big escape room. It's got 120 square meter. It's based in LA. It's an Atlantis gameplay. So we take the whole IP on board, we digitalize it, we IP'd it, we put it on chain. So we have 3 different stages. We have development stages, talk about the onboarding procedure. we have the game and assets creation. And then the next stage, we have the launch. So we have the launch part. We partner with different, for example, Yeehaw games. We perhaps we partner with a lot of distributor to actually launch our game on multi-chain and also a lot of different channels pretty much. So we implement the O2O integration. We have our own launch pad for the publisher. And then the third stage, which is the final stage, is the live operation. We talk about the competition, the esport, local and global community, activating the whole local and global community. On the right-hand side, see here, we're replicating the experiences in extensive gameplay. So the design that you can see here, which is we're launching on the sandbox in upcoming Alpha Season 4, is very much touching on Atlantis, which is like a sort of like a Greek mythology. The whole design is based on that particular game content. As I mentioned before, we're not only building on sandbox, so just quick demo video that we're building on sandbox and theme meta free. The reason we are building on so many different metaverses is because sandboxes are very voxelated. Not everyone loves that voxelated graphic. So we're building on ultra real
thank
life.
you. Thank you, Wing.
Okay.
Thank you, Nems.
Yeah.
Time's up.
Right.
Yeah. We're very interesting presentation and
right.
project. Yeah. Thank you.
All right,
Okay.
thank you. See ya.
Yeah. See you next. Let's welcome next project. Help and Girls. Are you here?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes. I can see you. Yeah.
Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Thank you.
Please go ahead. Yeah.
Hello, everyone. My name is Tony. So, HelpGrow is a community based in Singapore. Our project name is Proof of Volunteer Protocol. We aim to using the Web3 to make contribution to public goods. So we think a lot of children are in need of help. Why the NGO impact is limited because of unstable income or no salary for the employees, or lack of long-term incentive for volunteer individuals, especially when people go to work or have family, they seldom have time to go volunteer continuously. And also, I think especially for some small NGO, it's hard for them to attract enough attention or resource, especially cannot beyond their local community. So, as I mentioned earlier, we as a Singapore homegrown community, we hope to using the composable innovation brought by Web3 to help people who really need Web3, because we think the technology could and should be applied to improve the social welfare in large scale. So what we plan to support exactly, usually when we do volunteers, we do some offline work, and we want to provide a SaaS tool for the NGO or social enterprise to issue the proof of volunteer SBT for each volunteer individual for each activity, and store the image and video like in the RV, the permanent storage protocol. And this is a number one scenario, which we call the volunteer. Number two scenario is during such volunteer activity, usually several volunteer individuals meet with each other. So we also want to support to record the on-chain, the mutual acquired knowledge between the volunteer individuals. For example, I attend the volunteer and meet Bob, and Bob have a nice chat with me, and I can issue a proof of meet protocol SBT to Bob to record we meet each other in such a volunteer individuals, and it will help to make contribution to the DID profile or social protocol like Lens. And based on this data, we hope to using the token economics to assign a small part of donation to the NGOs and volunteer individuals to encourage the sustainable of the life behavior. So as to the ZKP, we think of two aspects. First, we hope to take advantage of ZKP to protect the privacy of people who get help. For example, proving the case to be able to get donation, but not revealing the details, personal information. The second aspect we plan to apply ZKP is we plan to deploy our application to the ZKP L2 like Scholar to make it more easy to everyone to use. So I just show the simple demo. For example, when I, as a volunteer individual, attend a volunteer activity, using my email to register. And after I register, I can take a joint picture to remember on the such moment. For example, I submit a picture when we do the volunteer, and I can connect the wallet to mint as SBT, and this SBT can be shown on the OpenSea directly. So when one of my friends see my volunteer SBT, he can donate or connector, can help the volunteer to do more better promotion. The second scenario is as I mentioned, in addition to claim the proof of volunteer protocol SBT, we can also record the meet of between the volunteer. For example, I can see the list of the volunteer individual who attends the volunteer at the same time, and I choose one person and have offline chat with him, and we can take a joint picture together. Here we already integrate with the Lens protocol, so I can poster. I can choose a picture between, for example, me and Bob, and we can mint a proof or meet protocol to record we meet as such volunteer. And because we already integrate with Lens protocol, so we can also see the poster on the Lens ecosystem like Lenster. This is a Lens protocol ecosystem application, similar like Twitter. So we already integrate with RWave and RPFS and Polygon and Lens. The next step for us is to integrate with the Scope to make it easy for everyone to use, and we also plan to integrate with Bitcoin passport to accumulate the social reputation to contribute more data to the Bitcoin passport. So furthermore, we think the knowledge is the best charity. By providing such a tool for NGO, we also want to help upskill the employee of NGO about, for example, the crypto wallet setup or NFT mint, so they can using the Bitcoin grant to help to do the digital marketing. And we also want to teach the children in the city about blockchain, for example, in Singapore, and then let the children themselves to do the blockchain application to help the people in the rural area. So we can proactively cooperate with government and school to encourage more people to join, considering the on-chain achievement as part of recent recall for the social contribution. For example, applying the permanent residence for Singapore or applying the university entrance. So that's my sharing today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tony. Thank you for the presentation. Thank you what you did for the NGOs and also the children's. I think I really appreciate what you did to make a difference. Yeah, thank you. Okay, the Cafe team is here. Yeah, welcome you. I think you. I will unmute you guys. Wait.
Hi.
Yeah. Hi, Candy. Nice to meet you. Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
You have two people to make the presentation, right?
Right.
Okay. Please go ahead.
And everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Yes. Hello everyone, we are Zcafi. We are Zero Knowledge Assets Finance. And who are we? We are all come from Cathay Financial Holdings blockchain teams, and we are all developers. And we are the biggest traditional bank in Taiwan. And what is Zcafi? Zcafi is a zero-knowledge real-world assets lending protocol. We use zero knowledge to protect real-world assets and borrow money in Web3. And what we solve? In other real-world assets lending, they don't provide privacy and security. And in Zcafi, our borrower can retain their privacy rights. And we partner with our bank. And we have assurance about collateral value and default handling. And how is Math? We have contracts, circuits, Merkle tree, and front end. Our contracts using Solidity to complete whole lending protocol. And our circuits use Circon to build the ZK and verify it on the Solidity. And we have a Merkle tree to build a cert And we also publish in our NPM. And we have a front end built in by we are gonna make it. And our architecture is, if our user want to use their real world asset to the collateral, they send it to the bank, and the bank will issue a ZK cert for this collateral. And this cert is a small tree, including the URL, IDs, SPRI, value, and revoke. And all of this is protected by the ZK. And the user will send the cert to the DeFi to borrow some token. The DeFi will verify, use ZK to ensure they have sufficient collateral and lend money to the user. And if user cannot repay the DeFi within a time limit or others, bank will sell their collateral and repay to the DeFi and revoke the cert. And it is whole our architecture. We also build on Polygon, Gnosis, Squad, Mentor, Celo, all of sidechain and other layer 2. Yes. And then it's our demo time.
Oh, sure. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Also the screen. Okay, sure. Okay, and this is our demo page. So as previous saying, we deploy our contract on several network. And in our demo, we will separate to the 3 parts. And the first part is the bound page, and the second is proof, and the third is land page. So in the first page, bounding page, I already used another account to bound the DAI token into our DAI pool. So there are already 50,000 DAI in the pool token. So I will skip this part. But if we bound the token into the pool, the account will get the corresponding pool token ZK DAI. So as a borrower, when I already put my real world asset to the bank, I have to request the bank to create the ZK proof for me. So this is our ZK proof. So as a borrower, I can just download this proof, and I want to use this proof to borrow the money from the DeFi world. So I can just upload this proof and type in the amount I want to borrow from the DeFi. So waiting for this transition down, and just very quickly and easily, you can just take a coffee. And when the transition are done, this 1,000 DAI token just come into your wallet. And this is your debt. This will calculate by the rate. And if you cannot repay this debt, the bank can sell your real world asset and turn into the DeFi token and repay the money, repay the debt for you, and then revoke the certificate. So, and as a borrower, if you want to borrow the money again, you have to repay first. So you can just make a repay transaction and make this for lending and borrows process done. So that is our Zcafi demo. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, all your presentation is completely right. Yeah, thank you for your presentation. Yes. Let's move on to next team. ZK Redentials. Hi, ZK Redential team. Yeah. Okay. Let me unmute you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hold on. 1 second.
Okay. Take your time.
Sorry, I need to rejoin because of preferences issue. Yeah.
Okay, maybe we can move to next project
sure.
first. Then, yeah. Okay, let's jump to Next project is Zico. Hi, Zico team, are you here? Are you ready for the presentation? Yes, okay. Let me unmute you and you can open your video. Yeah. Wait a second.
Hi, hello. Can you hear?
Hi. Yeah, you can open your video and share your screen, start your presentation. Yeah.
Okay, can the screen also can see?
Yeah, I can see your screen.
Okay.
And I can see you. Maybe you
Okay.
can open your camera. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry, wait for a second.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
Okay, nice to meet you. Hello, everyone.
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
Okay, so okay. Hello, everyone. We are Score. Our goal is to provide a solution based on zero knowledge proof to let prove your reputation score or credit score without revealing your personal information. So let's first identify the problem. When you want to prove your reputation or credit score on chain, your address will be associated with the off-chain score you provide, thereby exposing your personal information. This is what we want to avoid. So we aim to prove off-chain scores on chain. In this process, we issue a soulbound token, which can be viewed as a certificate. Throughout the process, we convert off-chain reputation score and credit score into on-chain certificates, but we ensure that the whole process cannot link to the personal information or privacy. So while there's a need for off-chain scores on the blockchain, let's first look at the use cases for reputation score on blockchain. First, we can prevent cyber attacks, ensuring that airdrop receivers are real people. And also, we can provide reputation proof when applying for events. Furthermore, we can assess NFT whitelists or maybe join certain communities. What about credit score? Let's look at the use cases for credit score on chain. So first, we can offer prepayment service on chain that we call buy now, pay later. And also, we can develop DeFi lending protocol that do not require excessive collateral. Moreover, we can provide credit proof to financial institutions when applying for financial services, like applying for credit card. Here's our detailed solution. We use reputation score as proof of concept. Firstly, we allow users to create their own identity. Once we obtain users' reputation score, we add their ID to the semaphore group based on their score. Then, user gets corresponding proof, like S grade, A grade, or B grade. After the user gets the proof, he can use a different address to get his certificate. He just needs to provide the proof into the contract. Once the contract's verification is successful, it will mint the soulbound token to the user. The entire process does not reveal any personal information or privacy, and the soulbound token cannot be transferred, ensuring the validity of the certificate. This process is similar to using Tornado Cash, where transcripts are used to withdraw funds in Tornado Cash, except in our system, transcripts are replaced to proof. Next, when the user successfully obtains the soulbound token certificate, he can use it in different scenarios, whether joining a whitelist, signing up for events, or using DeFi. So finally, he can prove his reputation score on chain and didn't reveal any private data. Here's our demo. Firstly, we require users to log into their Twitter account. Once the login is successful, we can calculate users' Twitter activity score. As you can see here, this user's Twitter score is 299. Based on this score, we add this user to different semaphore group. and allow him to generate a proof. He can then save this proof in any way, like write down it or copy it. This proof is like your private key or your secret key. It must be kept safe. So now I click copy, and the next step, we demonstrate using different accounts to connect to our website. Next, the user can provide the proof to our contract for verification at any time in the future. So here he passed the proof. He can use a different address, ensuring that there is no connection between this address and the reputation score we generated in the past. Here we need to wait for the verification of contract. So now the contract is verified, approved. And once the contract passed the verification, you can see here. Here's the Soulbound token certificate. So once the contract successful, it will mean a Soulbound token to the user. And the entire process does not reveal any who the user is or what his Twitter ID is, what his actual Twitter score is, and any personal information about him. And he can use this certificate in the future. This is the proof we generated. We use Circum to generate the proof, which can be verified on-chain or off-chain. This is our future work. We want to embed more rating system in our project, and we want to prevent more malicious use. And the most important is we want to expand more usage scenarios. Thank you for your listening. If you have any questions or would like to have further discussion, please let me know. Here's our Twitter account. Thank you.
Thank you, Zico. Thank you, Zico team.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yes. Okay, let's move on to the DK Redential team. Are you okay now? Eric, I think. Okay. Great.
Can you see my screen? Yeah.
Yeah, I can see screen. Yeah, please go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. Hi, I'm Eric. So I'm representing Z Credentials. We are a platform to revolutionize credential verification. So the current job market is plagued by inefficiency and risk due to the prevalent portfolios, fraud, and privacy concern. The traditional verification method lacks the transparency, security, and the privacy required for a seamless and trustworthy experience in validating credentials. So we identified three main problems for this. So firstly, the current hiring practices are not fully verifiable or extremely tedious to verify the hire's resume. So hence it may lead to potential for bad hire, which incur costs for the company itself. Secondly, there's a large people in a community prefer to interact anonymously with one another. And lastly, the people can actually create like a fake resume, such as I can go to LinkedIn and I can say that I work in Tesla, work in Netflix, work in Google, and no one will really be able to verify unless they really go deep down into like the HR, etc., to verify what I say. So hence there is a rising need for secure, decentralized solution for verifying credential while preserving privacy. So our solution Z Credential, basically a portfolio to create verification resume for using ZK Snarks. So we have simplified this whole process into 5 simple steps. So after the user connected his wallet, he will be prompted to log in with his World ID. So World ID is basically a Web3 company that ensures that users are unique on their own. Basically, you can verify using a mobile phone or verify using your iris. So after this verification, the user can actually proceed to log in with OAuth to their module. So module could be like GitHub, Twitter, Instagram, and from there we'll pull these statistics from this website. And then the user can then select the criteria that they want to show and to prove that they do have such or they achieve this certain criteria. So for example, for GitHub, you can have the number of pull requests that you made, the number of repositories that you own that have been started by other people, or you can even have sponsors. So from there, the user can select what criteria they want to show, and then they will generate a proof. And this proof will be then uploaded to IPFS and then minted as a 721 NFT. So then the user can share the content identifier of this NFT to the user that they want to show their proof to. So we'll just show a very short demo. Hold on, just use my yeah. So here again on the left side, you can see that this is actually our platform, and the right side is actually a staging environment of the World ID. So just take it as there's a mobile phone here, and you'll be scanning a QR code prompted by World ID on our platform. So moving for a little. So after you connect a wallet, you can actually verify with the World ID. So there's actually a QR code. So just take it as you have a mobile phone here that you can scan the World ID. So from here, you actually sort of like authenticate whether are you connected to this app. And thereafter, you pull sort of like a verification tier from World ID to see how verified you are. So afterwards, you actually mint 721 to say that you have actually been verified on our platform with World ID. And you can then continue use our platform. And thereafter, you can actually see that there are a bunch of social you can actually connect to. So in this demo, we will be connecting to our GitHub. So after connecting, you'll actually be able to receive the statistics available on GitHub. So we put them via the GitHub GraphQL API. And from there, you can actually say what do you want to show. So like, if let's say I don't have sponsors, I don't show sponsors. I have PR, I want to show a PR, or then the certain number of PR that I want to show. Do I want to prove at least I have 20 PR or at least I have 10 PR? So from here, it will then you can create click on submit, and it will actually generate the proof on our backend using ZK Snarks. And then thereafter, it will be uploading the proof to IPFS, and thereafter it will be minted as a 721 NFT. So fast forward a little, because this process will take quite a bit of time. So then after it's minted, you can see the proof is right here. You can just share the link, or you can view the proof here. So basically the proof here will show that you have at least 10 PR or 2 start repo. And there's the proof here generated by ZK Snark. You can actually copy this and head over to one of our verifier smart contract to verify that whether it is proof authenticated. So moving down, we actually have like a explorer section to say that, let's say you have seen this wallet's profile, right? Because each wallet profile will have all their different proofs, and that if you see that you want to reach out to them for sort of development work or whatnot, you can actually reach out to them like a LinkedIn messaging. So you can message them that, hey, I want to work with you. So this is actually powered entirely with push protocol. So you can see the message here that you have received, and you can reply to them, and then they can continue conversation in terms of continuing like development service or whatnot. So from here we can see that it's a very scalable application where we can add in more modules. Like I can add in Twitter, where I can extract in the number of followers, number of tweets you have, or your outreach statistics, or even for Instagram, number of posts, number of likes. For then you prove that you have the capability to actually perform such outreach, that you can prove it to them. Or even let's say you are actually a pro gamer that you want to do some site coaching on the site for some cash, you sort of have to prove that, but you don't want to show that you're actually a pro gamer. You don't want to show them that your actual username. So you can actually retrieve the statistic of your gameplay or your achievement that you perform in the game itself to pull out the data and to prove that you have certainly achieved such achievement. So one note that is also that these proof initial minting of proof is only one time. So after you mint the proof, let's say for GitHub proof, you mint once, the subsequent update of the proof, you will not be minting a new NFT, but rather just updating the IPFS itself. Yep.
Okay, excuse me, Eric. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for your presentation. Okay, yes, let's move on and welcome Max and M team. Yes, hello, Professor. Yeah. I will unmute you. Wait a moment.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, clearly. Please go
Okay,
ahead. Yeah.
I'll share my screen first.
Yes.
Hold on. Okay, can you see my screen over there?
I can see a word.
Can you hear me?
Doctor.
And
Yes, I can hear you. I just see a Microsoft Word.
Then let
Yeah.
me, you can only see the word. Okay, let me try again. Probably I share the, how about now?
It's clear. Yeah, I can see your deck. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. So should I go ahead?
Yeah, please go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Today I want to talk about Master Account Service Network, or ASN. Okay, it's something that we believe that is a must-have for Web3 to be successful. And if we don't build it, somebody else might. Now, today, I'm sure we have many Web3 enthusiasts in the audience today, including myself. But if we sit back to think a bit, Web3 is really not widespread. It has not been adopted by the general public in a large scale compared with Web 2. And by and large, most of us, including myself, conduct our business activities on internet using Web 2. So certainly there are some missing links. Okay. And in fact, there could be many. At Maxer, we focus on 3 must-have in order for Web3 to fly. We believe these are not just nice to have, but they are must-have. Now, the first must-have is credible anonymity. Now, this almost sounds like an oxymoron, contradictory, right? You want to be anonymous, and at the same time, you want to be credible. And part of the attraction of Web3, such as Bitcoin, is that you can remain anonymous. But on the other hand, there are many activities that cannot be extended to anonymous entity. For example, a bank would not lend money to an anonymous entity. So how can you create credibility with an anonymous entity so that people can establish trust on Web3? That is an essential element. The second must-have is, this must-have is especially relevant in view of the recent development in AI. How can you be assured that account, behind that account is a real human being and not an AI entity? AI can create many accounts out of nowhere, and they can overpower and sabotage human activities on Web3 in no time, and the whole thing can lead to doomsday scenario quite easily. The third must-have is obvious. No, Web3 is not easy to use today. Probably only a few tech-savvy people may use it, and for non-tech savvy people, they may be hesitant to use it. And if you lose your private key, you are in big trouble, right? So we focus on attacking these 3 must-haves. Now, we believe central to the idea of what we have is this thing called one person, one account, or 1P1A. By that, I mean each account is inextricably tied to a human being, not AI. And a human being can have one and only one account, not 2 accounts. And only with that, you can trace the activity of that account, which can remain anonymous, but you can trace its activities and thus make your decision on whether it's trustworthy or not. Okay. If an account does something bad previously, you cannot use another account to hide it, although you're anonymous. Okay. And this is a schema of our architecture. Okay. So we believe that a single sign-on is very important for the user experience. So we have a wallet for the single sign-on, very much like you may use Google to sign on to many Web 2 applications. The difference is that Google is on Web 2. No, you lose the control of your data. So we want to maintain decentralization. Furthermore, Google is not 1P1A. You can establish many Google accounts and hide your activities. Okay? You can remain anonymous, but it's not 1P1A. So we want to have a single sign-on network through Maxer, for example, through which you can access a whole host of different Web 2 as well as Web 3 applications. By 1P1A, I don't mean you can only have one account for Bitcoin, one account for Ethereum. You can have many, but if you want, you can tie those accounts to a single, link them to a single account, which is probably linked to one human being, and that human being will not have a different account, and that's the key idea. Now, how do we ensure 1P1A? Okay. We do this using a combination of FIDO plus biometric tied to the human being plus zero knowledge proof, ZKP. Now, FIDO is an industrial standard that allows the users to use biometric as a single sign-on to different applications on the web, but it's not 1P1A. So to do 1P1A, we have to include or incorporate extra using zero knowledge proof plus other advanced cryptography method. Okay. Now, because of the lack of time, I don't have the luxury of going into the technical details. I just want to say we did not come up with this concept out of the blue, out of a vacuum. We built a number of systems beforehand, including systems such as the mirror identity that mirrored a human being on the web world in a one-to-one manner. And we also done some project on zero knowledge based identity verification. And that eventually lead to the conceptualization of Maxer ASN. We are open to collaboration on the technical front as well as the business front. If you really want to find out more about the technical details, please contact us. Now, today you have heard many different talks. It's hard to remember everything. Now, for my talk, if nothing else, I hope you can remember one thing. That is 1P1A is important to establish credible anonymity. And that is important for Web3 in order to have trust. And if you have trust on Web3, that will open up a whole host of many, many different applications. And it's essential, it's must have. And with that, I close my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor. Thank you, Maxer team. Yes, thank you. Let's move on and welcome the ZK Blight team. Yeah, let me unmute you. Yeah. Wait a second. And yeah. Please accept.
All right.
Hi. Yeah. Let's make sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're CK Blind.
Yeah. Please go ahead. Yeah.
CK Blind is a revolutionary platform that enables truly anonymous conversations for professions. Where does the name ZK Blind come from? So we already have an existing platform called Blind. Professions can get verified on Blind and then post anonymous messages on that platform. But the problem is that the Blind platform still retains your identity. So we want to leverage the power of ZKP to ensure that the only person knows who you really are is yourself. So the process would be like user send email from their corporation account to their personal account. Then user download their email from their personal account and use their script to generate ZKP. And a third, user provides ZKP and with some public inputs. And we validate those inputs in our smart contracts, then register the user. Finally, now user can log in with their ETH wallet and post messages on our platform. There are a couple of constraints that we use in our circuits. So the first one is user ID is the SHA-256 of the user email address. We want to use the user email address to generate the ID, but we don't want to show what is the email address behind that ID. We use SHA-256, but it's not that strong because hacker could get the list of all the IDs and calculate the SHA-256 for all of them, then he wouldn't know what is the ID behind that, what is the email address behind that ID. We do have plan to make it strong, so we can introduce a MPC, then user would request the partial of the user ID from each of the trusted party, then user can assemble the ID himself. So the only person knows the user ID is the user itself. The constraint 2 is user email address is the sender in the email. We have the input, a private input of the user address, and we have to validate that the email address is indeed the sender in that email. Constraint 3 is user email suffix is the suffix of the user email address, because the user email address suffix is the the public input, and the user email address is the private input. So, but we have to validate that the suffix is actually the suffix. Constraint 4 is user signature of the ETH address in the email is valid. We don't want to allow people to register an email with some ETH address that they don't own. So we have to make sure that user actually sign their message, so we can verify that they actually own that ETH address. Constraint 5 is the user ETH address and signature is the only thing in the email body. Hacker could phish attack and trick some people to send an email which contains the ETH address and signature to us, and we could use that email to register for like a ETH account that we own. We want to prevent that from happening, so we should make sure that email bodies only contain those information. Constraint 6 is the user email DKIM signature is valid. Every email being sent from the valid email server needs to be signed by their public key. So by verifying the DKIM signature, we can make sure that the email is not forged. It's a valid email. Let's go for the demo. So first, I will need to send from my corporate account. Let's say that this is my corporate account, and I send an email to my private account with this information. This is my ETH address. This is the signature to the ETH address signed by the private key of this ETH address. Then I would get the email from my another account, and I can download that message. So after this email being downloaded, we can open it in a text editor, and we will see this is the email looks like. We can run some scripts, like we wrote generate inputs to parse the email, and also some scripts to generate the CKP. At the end, we would have the CKP and also the proof inputs and also some public inputs. So those contains the information of email suffix, the user ID, and also like the ETH address. And we also need to convert this decimal form to hex form so they can be accepted by our smart contract. This is what it looks like for the smart contract inputs. Ideally we should encode this to the inputs since we don't have much time. So we have this written in plain text and manually write it down. And this is our home page. These are app page. This information is pasted from here. And I can click submit. It's gonna take some time to for the transaction get through. So I have another account that is already registered. So this current white user has been whitelisted, and I can post the messages. Say ScalingX rocks. So I can see that I posted messages like use my ID, email suffix, and some other people post their messages here. Yes, that's our presentation. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Alan. Thank you, ZK Blind. Yes. Okay, let's move on. Welcome next project, ZKEX. Hi, ZKEX team.
Hello, hi. I'm just going to share my screen now.
Yeah, wait. Yes. Okay, please go ahead. I think you can open your camera. We can see you.
Sure thing. Great. Is it working?
Yeah. That's great. Thank you.
Perfect. Just
please,
a moment.
Yeah, please go ahead. Yeah.
Excellent. Okay. Is everything working okay?
Yes.
Perfect.
Yes, please
Great.
go ahead. Yeah.
Great. Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. My name is Bilal. I'm one of the 4 co-founders of zkex.com. I'd like to introduce you to the DEX of the future. We're building what could be the crypto industry's first decentralized self-custodial equivalent of a CEX. So ZKEX is an omni-chain order book DEX secured with zero knowledge proofs. Now, the problem we're solving is very well known. Decentralized trading right now is broken and full of compromise. So very few people trade on DEXs because of the bad user experience, fragmented liquidity, and limited functionality. And despite the risks of getting rugged, restricted, or blocked, they end up giving up custody of assets to CEXs. What we see is that the market outlook for DEXs is incrementally getting better every single year. So there is quite significant growth ahead. So annual DEX revenue could be around $8 billion in user fees within a few years, up from around 2 or 3 billion in the last year. But we actually see a much, much bigger opportunity ahead of us in the coming years. Because right now, unregulated CEXs dominate crypto trading with around 90% of the market share. But their business model is coming under a lot of pressure and some serious challenges. Because in the near future, many traders will have to choose between a DEX or a regulated CEX for compliance reasons. And that's especially true in some countries for high leverage derivatives trading. So why do we think that ZKEX is capable of taking market share from both CEXs and other DEXs? Quite simply, we break the limit of every other DEX out there in the market. And what we found is that they're innovating on tokenomics and we're innovating on product. So when a CEX trader switches to our product, they'll enjoy a smooth trading experience while keeping control of their assets at all times. And the question comes in, why, not exactly why would you use ZKEX, but rather why wouldn't you use it? Because our users will be able to quickly, easily and securely buy and sell any supported native token from any connected chain without needing to bridge over any money whatsoever. So let me explain our 4 killer advantages that we think are superior to other DEXs and CEXs. So first off, we are a DEX built by traders for traders. And ZKEX will be the first DEX that supports portfolio margin with a full suite of products, both spot and derivative trading, and potentially options in the future. Now, portfolio margin is actually a killer feature It's very hard for us to build, but incredibly powerful for our users, especially professional traders. Under portfolio margin mode, all of your assets can be counted as collateral. So that means your spot leverage, and contract assets can all be used. So capital efficiency is maximized and risk is managed much more effectively. A few CEXs have this feature, but we'll be the very first DEX to offer it. Number two, we do not compromise on user experience. So we'll support pretty much any wallet, but we'll also implement smart contract wallets with simple login, social recovery. And so for a CEX user, there's no hassle for them to switch over to us. We'll also be available on web and a mobile app with fiat on-ramps. Third, we are a true multi-chain project. ZKEX allows users to trade native tokens from any connected chain using your own wallet. And since there's no bridge, there are no cross-chain risks. The underlying tech we're using is a multi-chain ZK rollup, and ZK proofs make sure that your assets are safe and unhackable. We can also aggregate liquidity because we can merge the same token from different chains. For example, if you have USDT sitting on, say, Polygon, Avalanche, and Ethereum, those will all be merged to become the same token on ZKEX. Fourth, we support a high-performance trading experience, and our matching engine and settlement system are close to the levels of leading CEXs. The middleware service we're using is highly optimized for order book trading. And in terms of cost per trade, we believe it's one of the fastest and cheapest L2 solutions out there. The question in your mind may be, can this team actually deliver this super DEX, one with unbreakable security, a full spectrum of products, and one which is easy to use? The answer is yes, because we've done similar things before. Our background is from leading CEXs, TradFi, startups, and corporates. And our team has expertise in high-frequency trading, market making, and we're experienced in developing and scaling matching engine, risk engine, and settlement systems at high volume, at high scale. Now, we've done a lot of work already, and now we're looking to work with strategic investors and market makers. Now, last year, we raised from angel investors, and now we're raising our pre-seed round to power us into mainnet launch. And we're actually raising around $1.5 million at a valuation of around 30 million. That's equity and also token warrant. So we'd actually encourage you to go ahead and try our testnet next week and let us know your feedback. It's currently down because we're upgrading and adding some new features. And we've actually got really good traction so far. We've got a very active community of users as well. And around half the features you'll see on the testnet were actually suggested by our very active community as well. So they're helping us to build the product together. So in short, we really truly believe that ZKEX will become a decentralized, safe space for multi-chain asset trading. And so you get all the functionality of the CEX, but without the risk. We plan to go live in Q3, just a few months away, and we'll be offering seamless omni-chain trading of both spot and derivatives, supporting portfolio margin, connected with a smart wallet. So if you'd like to know more, we'd love to talk, give more details about our go-to-market strategy, liquidity management strategy.
Thank you.
And so we'd love for you guys to get to know us as well.
Yeah, thank you,
very much.
DKEX team. Yeah, thank you. Hopefully we can find the safe space for trading. Yeah.
Cheers.
Yeah, thank you. And let's move to our next team, Hotkey, Stephen. I think you're here. Yeah.
Hello. I cannot turn on my video.
Yeah, I just wait a second. I will. Yeah. Okay. You can share your screen and start your presentation. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, there's some issue with my MacBook. Seems I cannot share using Zoom. Just give me 1 second.
Okay.
Sorry, I think I need to rejoin again. Sorry about that.
Okay, let's jump to the next first. Okay, we choose Steven. Okay, so the next should be, let me see, ZRC Live. Okay, because time zone problem, ZRC Live team cannot join our demo day physically because they are it's almost 4 a.m. in the morning. So they prepared a video record and want you guys to know more about their team. And yes, here's the video.
Everyone, sorry I couldn't join the demo live due to time zone issues. Today I would like to showcase ZRC Lib, which is an open source SDK for developers to easily build private token primitives. So the reason for building this ZRC Lib is to help developers that don't have a background and zero knowledge to still easily build private DeFi primitives. The structure of the open source library is that we have a Solidity SDK, which have all the smart contracts such as a shielded pool, which developers could just inherit from, and also the TypeScript SDK that handles all the client-side proof generation, management of the deposit node, etc. So we have a few templates on the Solidity side. For example, ZRC20, which is essentially just ERC20 but private. We also support non-fungible tokens, ERC 1155, but also private. The actual shielded pool contracts, and Defiant pool is an extension which could help increase censorship resistance. On the client side, we handle all the zero-knowledge proof generation, the management of the Merkle tree, and the encrypted UTXO store, which is the local storage on the user's browser to manage the deposit node and the keypad, etc. So some of the features that we have include a multi-asset shielded pool, meaning we could support any token type inside the shielded pool, inside the same shielded pool, and essentially share the same anonymity set. So for example, we could have ERC20, ERC721, ERC1155, and this help increases the anonymity set and is more useful for long-tailed assets to achieve the privacy of a mixer. So how it actually works is that each UTXO, which is the deposit node, contains a few fields such as the asset ID, the amount, the blending, which is just random values, and the public key of the owner. So each time there's an internal transfer, we pull UTXO, join and split them into two other output UTXO. Okay, and we have this zero-knowledge circle that we have, and essentially each deposit node is just a form of commitment, which is a hash of the amount, the public key, the blinding, and the asset type. And another feature that we have is a privacy protected swap. So when you have a tokens inside the shielded pool, we have this feature that allows you to swap to another tokens completely private. So the flow is that the users will generate a proof to unshield this token, and use a relayer to actually execute this swap on an external DEX like Uniswap and reshield back the tokens to the shielded pool. And all of this happens in one single transaction, so it's atomic. How it works is that the users would define some of the parameters, such as the minimum amount of the output, the swap recipient, the swap router that wants to use, and pass this data to the relayer, where the relayer could call the swap executor contract and execute the swap on behalf of the users. So let's take a look at the live demo. Before that, I would like to showcase the library that we built. Essentially, if you look at the README, we have different stuff such as creating a private account, helping generate a proof to deposit into a shielded pool, also generating a proof to do a transfer within the shielded pool, and as you can see, everything just takes a few lines of code. And in the examples directory, you could look at some of the example applications that we have built, including a private stablecoin and a private wallet supports this multi-asset shielded pool. So more detail about how to integrate the SDK can be seen here. Okay, let's take a look at the demo of the private wallet. So essentially, when we connect a wallet, you could see that we'll need to put in a password. So this creates a private account for the users. And we just need to sign a message to do that. So once assigned, we have a private account. And we have a public-facing wallet and a private-facing wallet. So everything in the public account can be seen through a block explorer, can be monitored. Every interaction with the private tab is completely private to the user themselves. So first of all, let's mint some tokens, test tokens. once it's minted, we can see that we have now have 10 DAI. All right. So we have 10 DAI, but no LUSD, and on the private tab, we don't have anything. So let's shield some of these tokens to be private. And when we are shielding, we are essentially making it into the shielded pool, and subsequent transactions will be private. So first of all, we need to approve it. Once that's done, we generate the zero knowledge proof on the client side to help deposit into the shielded pool. So it only takes a few seconds, and we actually pass the zero knowledge proof to the smart contract for verification. So once that's done, we could see that we have no more DAI in the public account where everything is moved to the private account. And let's demo another feature that we have, which is a atomic swap within this private account. So let's say we want to swap from 10 DAI to 10 LUSD. Okay, let's swap it. And what happens is that we generate two zero knowledge proof for a swap. First one to the proof to reissue these tokens after the swap, and the second one to unshield this token when we first want to put this tokens into the public account for the external DEX. So as you can see, the proof is pretty quick as well, just a few seconds. And when we have the proof, then we submit this proof for verification on the smart contract side. Okay, once that is done, you could see that the 10 DAI has been converted to 10 LUSD. And all of this happened within the private account, and the users can protect privacy. Thank you very much. Hope you guys can check out this repository and give us any feedback. Thanks.
Okay, hope you guys know more about the ZRC Lab. Okay, Stephen, are you ready now? You can try to share your screen. Stephen, yeah.
Hey, thank you. Sorry about the technical challenges. Let me share my screen.
It's okay. Yeah. Cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. My name is Stephen, and I'm the CTO of Portkey. So at Portkey, we aim to create a user-friendly social recovery wallet that can bridge the gap between Web 2 and Web 3 and make Web 3 more accessible and ready to serve the mainstream. So to get some context, let's look at some numbers. Currently, there are around 5 billion users on the internet and 3 billion on Facebook. And by comparison, there are around 200 million addresses on Ethereum. And the actual number of users is even smaller, as it's common for people to hold multiple addresses. And Coinbase has around 110 million users. As for dApps, Uniswap, the most popular dApp on Ethereum, claims that they have 4.5 million users. So these figures highlight the fact that while Web3 technology has made significant strides in recent years, there is still a long way to go in terms of mainstream adoption. So what's stopping Web2 users from flocking to Web3? One of the biggest hurdles is the steep learning curve and the significant mental burden associated with private key management. If you are interested in exploring a dApp, the first thing you need to do is create a private key, and the wallet will help you to create a set of seed phrases. And you have to take the responsibility to write down the recovery phrases and make sure that they are safe and secure, because they are the only means for you to access your on-chain funds. Losing them means losing everything. So this requirement actually is likely to cause anxiety or confusion to average users, forcing them to navigate the steep learning curve to comprehend the concept of private key and the consequences of losing it. This is not enjoyable user experience. However, in comparison, in the familiar Web 2 world, users don't need to understand what a private key or what HTTP or SSL is. All they need to do is create an account using their email address or phone number. So can Web3 provide a user experience that's comparable to that of Web 2? In our view, the answer is yes, and our solution is Social Recovery Wallet. Using a social recovery wallet, there is no need to remember the seed phrases. You can create or recover your accounts using any other Web2 accounts, such as your email address or phone numbers. So this diagram shows how the social recovery wallet is structured. So essentially, it is a smart contract wallet where the assets are held against a smart contract account instead of an address that is tied to a fixed private key. So in this scheme, the private keys are stored in the device and they are still used to authorize the on-chain transactions. But the good thing is you don't need to back the private keys up, and the corresponding addresses of the private keys are registered in the smart contract, and they can be changed anytime you want. Guardians are here to help you with that. They are responsible for safeguarding your accounts. You can use your email address or phone number as your guardian, and each guardian is associated with a verifier that is able to verify the identity of the guardian and issue proofs that can be used in a smart contract. So in case if you want to perform operations like addition or removal of your manager addresses, you can collect the proofs from the guardians and perform the transaction. So to enhance the privacy of the users, so we are implementing a zero-knowledge proof-based verification mechanism so that the guardians can be verified without revealing the personal information, not even the email address or phone numbers. So let's jump to the demo. So first, let's see how the account can be created. So it's actually pretty similar as how you would create a Web2 account. You can use your existing email address, and you need to select a verifier. Then the verifier can send you a verification code. Yeah, so you can provide the received verification codes to complete the verification. Then you have the accounts. You need to set a PIN to protect your device. And yeah, that's it. So you have a social recovery wallet now without the need to create any seed phrases or write down anything. Next, let's see how we can recover the account. Imagine if you have logged in your account using one of your phones, and so, let's say if you lose your phone, what you can do is you can log in to another phone. So logging in is pretty similar as creating an account. You just need to give the email address, and the verifier will send you the verification code. Yeah, now you have logged into the new device. You can see that there in your login device, you can see two of your phones. So to confirm that these two accounts are actually identical, let's see the addresses. You can see that the addresses are identical. So what you can do now is on your new phone, you can remove the old device so that if someone gets your phone, they cannot control your account. it's similar to other social recovery operations. You just need the approval from the guardians. Now the old phone has been removed.
Okay, thank you,
cannot
Stephen.
control your account anymore. Yeah.
Thank you,
so
Stephen.
I think,
Yeah.
time is up. So just to highlight that you can find us on the Google Play Store or iOS App Store. You can try us out. Thank you.
Thank you, Porky. Yeah, thank you. Okay. These are today's 15 projects, and thank you all your great presentations today. And then we prepared 100 POAP NFTs for all the participants. Yes, and thank you to coming today. And you will have 2 minutes to mint. And then my colleague, please share the QR code. And I think Chichi is here. Hi, Chichi. Yeah. Yeah, this is a QR code. You can scan the QR code and no need to pay any gas, and just enter your wallet address. You can mint our exclusive POAP NFT.
Yeah, so
Hi, Chichi. Yeah.
okay, so please
Okay, I think you
scan so you can get our very exclusive code. Can you hear me?
Yeah, but not that clearly. Maybe there's something wrong with your internet, right?
Yeah.
No worries. Yeah, it's, during the 2 minutes, I want to thank all our sponsors and the developer communities. Thank ARPA, ELF, Spark Union, Newman Cyber, Code Cloud, Web3.com Venture, Starknet, M Venture, Bilson, Consensus, Infra, Radio, Aspect ID, Alternative Ventures, and BeAlter. And also our developer communities, WTF Academy, Peking University Blockchain, Moonshot, ZK Sync, and Grenady, and CryptoCat, Tintin, CDAO, and AOXDAO. Thank you all your support for our hackathon, and I hope you guys enjoyed today's demo day. Yeah. Thank you.